Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Small Group. It's time again for Games with Nathan. Today we're playing a game called Riddle Me Crisps, which is a game where our cast of contestants here will be answering a series of riddles, and if they do, whoever gets the most wins this bag of crisps, as they're called in England, but also it's really just a bag of about a quarter full barbecue chips that was previously in our kitchen here.
A bag of crumbs is what it looks like.
I was gonna say, thinking that's crumbs.
I want it. I'll eat them. I ain't saying I won't eat them.
I'm sure.
But they are crumbs.
Let me introduce our contestants for us. We have Ed Martin, Jason Collins, Becky Martin. They're gonna be answering some riddles today for us, and when they think they know what the answer to the riddle is, they just bang on their table.
Nice.
First person to get it wins the points. So here we go. Here is your first riddle. Poor people have it. Rich people need it. If you eat it, you die. What is it? Poor people have it. Rich people need it. If you eat it, you die.
Well,
It's tricky is what it is. It's just tricky.
Poor people have it.
I'm going to think it's stupid either way. Rich people have it.
No, poor
need
people
it.
have it.
Poor people want it. If you eat it, you die.
No wonder he can't get it. He said it backward.
I got it exactly right.
All right, we're gonna call time's up on that
Yeah.
riddle. The answer is nothing. Poor people have nothing.
Yeah.
Rich people need nothing. If you eat nothing, you will die.
That's the problem. I went with want. I thought that you
can't
said that
eat
rich people
nothing.
want.
I'm going to go with my original thing. That's stupid.
That is stupid.
Your
So now I
second
don't
riddle.
feel stupid.
We're gonna set a timer on this. We'll give you
Yeah.
guys 1 minute. We'll
Please
see how this
do.
goes.
I think 35 seconds. We don't know in 30 seconds.
I'm tall when I'm young, and I'm short when I'm old. What am I?
Hourglass.
Ooh, that is a good. I'm gonna say this. If no one can come up with something closer, that's pretty close. It's not correct. I'm gonna give the point to him.
Okay,
I think I should.
time.
That is not correct.
Oh.
That is farther away from the answer.
Sorry. Just thought I'd go there.
The general
I
principle
started
he
it.
had was
I
correct.
started to answer.
Well, I
You
figure
get
it's something
people?
that runs out as it gets older.
Time, we're gonna give that as a point to Ed. It was a candle. Candle starts tall.
Okay, no.
Correct principle. He got that as time, it runs out. It's the same principle. We'll get that
So
close.
you just used time in your answer, and I used that as my answer. Half a point to me.
You had no clue.
You don't get to decide what points go. I decide. I have the barbecue chips. I have the power.
I don't like this game.
Mary's father has 5 daughters. Nana, Nene, Nene, and Nona. What is the 5th daughter's name? Yes.
Mary.
That is correct. Mary is the 5th daughter. Because Mary's father had 5 daughters. I listed 4.
You did.
Yeah.
How can a pants pocket be empty and still have something in it?
It has lint in it.
No.
Oh,
Yes.
it has your hand in it. When your hand goes in it,
No.
it's empty. But
That's not correct.
hey, that's as close as the hourglass.
You don't know what the answer is.
Poor people
I got
have it.
nothing.
Take it back.
Correct answer is it can have a hole in it. A hole in the pants
See,
pocket.
these are like puns. That's why they're
I
not
hate
good.
puns.
Everyone hates riddles. What word becomes shorter when you add 2 letters to it?
Short.
Yes, I was
Short
just
is
about to hit it. I had that one.
That's 3 points to Ed Martin. He is our winner.
Yeah.
Everyone is worse for having watched this video.
Yes.
Okay, so today we're not going to be solving any riddles, but we are finishing up looking at these teachings from the Bible that almost seem like riddles. They seem backwards or upside down. First, we looked at the whole idea that in order to be whole, we have to be broken, meaning that God can't heal us or make us whole if we don't see our own brokenness. And it sounds like a riddle, but it's true. And last week we learned that the only way to be free is to be a slave. Once again, sounds like a riddle, but we learned how God sets us free from slavery to sin when we choose to obey Him as our master. And today we're wrapping up this series by looking at one more confusing teaching from the Bible, and it's all about our weaknesses. See, most of us learn to handle our weaknesses in life by covering them up. If I'm not good at something, I don't broadcast it out to everyone I know. In fact, I try to cover it up and make sure no one finds out that I'm bad at that thing. If I get rejected by a girl, if someone makes fun of me, if I fail a test, I don't brag about it. I brag about the things I do well. I brag about my strengths. I rub it in other people's faces when I win the game. Not when I lose. I shout it from the rooftops when I get the highest grade in the class. I brag about my strengths. But look at this writing from one follower of Jesus named Paul. Paul is writing to this church in a place called Corinth, and he's explaining how he has a problem in his life. We don't know what the problem is, but we know Paul wants it removed from his life. In fact, he tells this church that he's asked God to take this problem away from him. But look at what Paul says. Each time he, meaning God, said, "My grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness." So now I am glad to boast about my weaknesses so that the power of Christ can work through me. Paul says he will brag about his weaknesses. Why? Because in Paul's weakness, God shows how strong he is. If Paul didn't have this weakness, people might think the reason Paul has such strong faith or does such good things for God is because Paul's just such a good guy. But when people see Paul's weakness and see his strong faith and the things he does for God, they know that God is the one working through him. So Paul says, "That's why I take pleasure in my weaknesses and in the insults, hardships, persecutions, and troubles that I suffer for Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong." And that's this upside down teaching of Jesus. When we are weak, we are really strong. Why? Because God shows himself in our weaknesses. When we hide our weaknesses and act like we're perfect, what we're really saying is, I don't need God because I have my life together on my own. But if we admit, I'm not perfect, I don't have all the answers, I get it wrong sometimes more than I get it right, but God still loves me, God is still working through me, and he's the one who makes me strong, not me. When we do that, God shines, not us. So talk in your groups about how we can be strong by bragging about our weaknesses